right, I think we are rolling now. Good morning, everybody watching this. So, this has been long overdue. I drop videos like this on my journal to keep track of my trading activities in the course of the year. All right, and so far so good. This is Q1, and well, I've had the videos to document how I have been approaching the market time and time again. Anyway, I haven't dropped anything in a while, and I have taken a couple of trades. So one of the reasons I'm doing this is to go over my trades. I think I had about 3 trades in total. So we'll go over them and also see what I'm looking at for the month ahead. And with no further ado, get let's kick off, right? And what I have in my front here is GBPJPY, and I've done a full on top down analysis on GBPJPY, and it's here on my journal, right? So you can go check it out if you missed that, but I'm just going to recap why I feel GBPJPY is still a bearish movement. I've been trading GBPJPY and EURJPY, the JPY basket. I've been active on the JPY basket for Q1, and so that's just basically GJ, which is GBPJPY and EURJPY. And I've had some trades with USD and so on, but mainly most of my videos I look at GJ and EJ, and well, the JPY index is trending, so it just seemed like a right time for the majors. Speaking on EU and GU, it's not really concrete for me. I feel more comfortable this period with the JPY baskets. All right, so hence we are here, right? And this is the weekly. Let me just clear up some things here before we get started. All right, now this is the weekly time frame for GBPJPY. I'm just align this properly. All right, cool. Now, what I see here on the weekly time frame, again, I've done a full top-down analysis on this, so you could check it out. But for recap purposes, I'll still be here doing all that. So, what we have here on GBPJPY is a play around our monthly level. Now you can see if I come to if you look to the left, you'd see this blue bar is a monthly level that is holding the market on a monthly time frame. If I come to a monthly time frame, you should see that properly here. All right, so we got here, we rejected. Now we are here playing around, and what behavior are you seeing here? We got here. This is a bearish engulfing candle on a monthly time frame. We broke down below here, and now we are holding below the monthly level. See, we can't make a new high ever since we had this bearish engulfing candle. Mind you, this is a monthly time frame, so this lower high here that we managed to form, these are like months going by, right? So anyway, we failed to make an equal or a higher high, and then we are reacting to the monthly level. right? Now this is basically a sell setup. One, the bearish engulfing candle, and then the funny behavior after that. Basically, not this the resistance bar here is basically holding the market, and well, we are broken back down below here, and the behavior is pushing for a sell. To me anyway, you might think different, but I think it's a sell, 100%. Right? At what point are we going to start selling? Now that's a different question. But my overall bias on GBPJPY is bearish. From a monthly time frame and the things I've been able to spot on there, I would say my monthly bias is 95% bearish. All right, so this is now a weekly time frame, and of course you come to the weekly time frame to see the nitty gritties of the behavior around this monthly level. Now we obviously have established the fact that there was a change in behavior around this monthly level, and also something interesting now is happening. We had a double top below this monthly, or at this monthly level. We got here, and then a retracement gave birth to a double top, right, and a lower low. Right now, pulling in for a lower high is exactly what the market has done to fulfill this wave count. You see, I have a nice trend line here that touches here and is being respected here. So me seeing this is still another confirmation, because we are making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, right? So I am still very much bearish in this market, and I know for a fact that whatever bullish move we would be having is simply a retracement, right? Now let's come to the daily, and then I go over my positions in the past. I think I've had two sell trades for GBPJPY alone. I had one that later got stopped out for break even. I had taken something out of it already, but then got stopped out for break even. And then in the attempt of scaling up my position, I got stopped out for, well, no, yeah, I got stopped out in profit. My SL hit was on EJ, but I'll get to that when we're talking about the EURJPY pair. But yeah, let's go over. This is the daily, and I remember for a fact, you guys know how I roll Fibonacci play somewhere here, and yeah, it was basically a no-brainer. It was basically a no-brainer, and we basically, what happened was we had this push to the downside, right? And this was my 100% retracement point, and I always take out something at that point, right? Now, something interesting now happened, right? We got here, I had taken out something, I had broken even. I was waiting for, okay, wait, no, I think I'm a bit behind here. Apologies, I'm a bit behind here. Okay, I think I get it now, because this didn't happen so far back. I think this was once, maybe when I scale lower, I would be able to properly point out my past positioning. But still, on the matter of direction, I'm still bearish, very much bearish. As you can see, if you have this as your swing high, have this here as your swing low, you'll see that we are still playing around this point. This confluence of the trend line and our fib level, we are obviously playing within here. Now my bias obviously would be a breakdown to this level here for a first level target before we head lower for a final excuse me, for a final push to the downside. This would now be my overall target. Of course, I would have multiple trades, about 2 trades in here, but I would make sure that I'm transferring my risk, not duplicating it. What I mean is, if you have, for example, you have 0.05 lots open on a trade, and you're risking $30, right? When you are scaling up, and this is something I'm still trying to get a hang of myself, when you're scaling up, you don't duplicate, you don't make it $60, you don't add your new risk on top your old one. You break even on your old risk and then transfer that risk to your new positioning. Again, this is something I'm still trying to try out myself, but it's a nice way to approach long-term swing trades if you have a low balance like me. So yeah, it's basically a sell still. However, I would need a really nice sell setup to get the best position possible to take advantage of the sell. Right now, let's talk about my previous trades, and I think I've gotten the exact markings. Okay, I think I've gotten the exact markings. How did I even go safe? I think I remember now. There was, yeah, okay. So we had, I think we had a, when was this? This is January. Okay, this is far behind. This is, I'm talking about like March here, like still in March. But point is, I can't really place. Maybe this is why I should do the videos immediately. Immediately I am taking the setup, so it's easier to track. Hold on, just give me a minute. Let me see if I can pull up some screenshots I sent to a community I'm part of. I talk about the community a lot. Okay, not a lot, but yeah, really cool people. Okay, so yeah, I think I've gotten, what was this? Okay, 194 152. One five two 194 152. Okay, is it here? Okay, I believe it's here. 194 152. Yeah. Okay. That means it's exactly not so far behind. Anyway, so yeah, I've gotten it. So what happened? Let me scale to a lower time frame so that it makes more sense, right? So I have gotten it. It was here. I would check out. Yeah, it is. I can pause it. Go find the screenshots. Hold on. Let me see if I should probably do that. So, wonderful community. Okay, this is my EJ setup. This is not me. Now, yeah, this is my GJ setup. Now, if you look closely to the left, you see this was exactly what I was gunning for. I had gotten into the trade below this, below 192, 193 region, and that stopped me out for break even. And then this was my other trade that I took, right? And yeah, this is it. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. So back to real life chat. So this we had gotten here and ranged. This was a triple top that I saw, and well, this is a monthly level, right? So my sell was a low risk sell because, well, this was a monthly level and we can have some crazy movement at these monthly levels. So I was really cautious about my sell trade. But yeah, it worked out pretty nicely. We had gotten all the way here. I had taken out about 30% of my position. It wasn't a lot, but I had taken that out and I had broken even, and then I was preparing to scale up. If you look through the images here, there was, right, this one I was like preparing to scale up here, right? So it was preparing to scale up. I had gotten into the trade here, and well, I was ready to scale up, and I did scale up. At this point, there was a retracement, and I took advantage of it. But I had broken even at this point, right? And I just transferred the risk here. My SL was all the way up here. We got here, and ideally I should be this new position, but I was like, it's small. That was, I think, my biggest mistake. When we got here, I should have broken even and protected my risk. But I was like, okay, it's small. We could, we could get stopped at and then continue going our way in our favor. So I decided to chill on breaking even, and it stopped my new position out alongside my BE. So it just took it out, and that was it. And so that was. Wait, hold on. No, my bad. I think I broke even on this second trade. Yeah, at this point I had broken even, and because I know that I only had one loss and it was EJ. Yeah. Anyway, for GJ, that was the scenario. We had made a lower low and a lower high, and for some reason we failed to make a lower low, right? And formed a double bottom instead. So those were the two trades I had for GJ. I had one here. I think this one was break even as well, and this one was break even as well. So I just decided to let go of that, of course. And yeah, that was that about that. Anyway, so looking forward to the future for GBPJPY. What can I say? I can say still very much bearish. That's like a no-brainer if you ask me. Still very much bearish. However, we might decide to play around a bit, see who takes the bait of an early entry, and mess them up for a for obviously a sell setup, run stops, those kind of things. I I don't want to I don't want to call any shot because it's a bit too early. However, I am still very much bearish on this guy. Very, very, very much bearish on this guy. And let me see if I can just map out some levels really quickly. I believe this guy here. We look at this guy here. Look at this guy here. So I think I even had something here, so prior that I deleted. Right. But back to the daily. What is really making me confident? Not one of the things, not just one thing. One of the things making me confident about this sell setup is we have this is a confluence here that we have respected. Excuse me. That we have respected going down. Right? This is okay, it's not an engulfing candle when you're engulfed one. I mean you could call it a bearish engulfing candle. I wouldn't, but you could, right? So this is already giving signs of bearish momentum. However, we might still again decide to play around this area. If I just bring you here, bring you here. Let me not make anything too. If I just hide, if I hide this for a bit, just to get a nice. All right. All right, yes, this is valid. So we have a trend line here in play that is holding the market, as well as this. Let me bring that gray line back. All right. So we have this trend line that is holding the market, right? And still we have a key level on a daily time frame. If you highlight this guy here, you would see there is a rejection here. We respect this line. I mean, it would be more of a bar, but I mean, leave the line still. So you see, we also respect it here. So now this is the bus stop we need to clear in order to continue heading to the downside. Now we have rejected to the if we clear this black bar below, I don't see any other reason why we should not head to 18900 here. Excuse me. This gray bar. I don't see why we shouldn't get here once we have fulfilled all righteousness in here. However we want to do it, we might break and retest. That would be my ideal setup. A break of this region and retest. If I bring that fib back, you'll notice that a fib play is also happening here. See, this is the 50 and it lines up pretty nicely. Actually, this is your high and I'm using this as the low, and obviously that's what's in play here because of the confluence. So once we break out of here, and if there is once there is a breakout retest or any sell pattern formation around this region, I'll be taking it. SL will come well above here. I don't want to really get into the details of entry because it's still forming. Need to let this thing cook properly, but I'm still very much bearish here. Once we break here, start falling continuously, be taking advantage of them what's it called, retracements. Yeah. And yeah, I believe that's it for first. Let me put here. Yeah, this is also a level. Once we break here, we're looking at these levels to obviously give us some room for retracement and entries and all that. Yeah. on an hourly time frame, I don't know how this would go. Check your RSI on hourly time frame, very important. So I exactly don't know how this would go, but there is a change in structure. There'll be a break in structure here. See, we had this higher high, higher high here, higher low here, and then we had a higher high, and then all of a sudden a lower low. So there is a change in structure here. And once this completes, we can then say for sure at what point we'll be getting in for a sell, at what point we would be, uh, positioning ourselves for an entry. So that's pretty much it for GJ. Let me see if I can. If we retrace to the upside here, now this is just a note to self. If we retrace to the upside based on a fib play, I would want to get in here. However, my position would be a low risk position. What I mean by that, if I risk 3% or 2% of my account per trade, I'll be risking just 1% for this particular position. The reason why that is because this is just my 1 foot in the door for the trade, and I need to still protect my risk because the balance is not much, to be honest. So yeah, a position here, SL would be well above here, and then I would limit my risk to just 8% just to get my foot in the door. And then once we now start trading below this black bar, of course I would now get in with both feet because I'm much more confident in the market positioning. All right, so that's it for, I think I'll just leave this fib here. Yeah, so that's it for GBPJPY. The last one I want to go over, because I've spent a lot of time, almost 30 minutes, talking about GJ, is the EURJPY. Let me go to it quickly here. So I believe I must have done a full-on analysis on the EJ as well, because I don't want this video to be so lengthy. Right, so anyway, now it's just looking at it plain as day. You can see a major head and shoulders pattern on EJ. This is a weekly level, by the way. If you zoom out, you would see that we have been having a bullish movement for a while, since like 2020. We've been having a bullish move on this pair, and then once we got to about 2023, we started forming this head and shoulder pattern. That means we've been trending for 3 years basically. This is 2020, this is about 2023 November, so 3 years of trending markets. Now we are forming a really visible head and shoulder pattern. This is the shoulder, this is the head, this is the shoulder. Now that on a weekly time frame is just screaming bearish, but it still takes some time for the higher time frame to affect the lower time frame, right? Because I mean, I place my positions, I don't place my positions on a weekly time frame, right? So this is a push to the upside, and then now the head and shoulder pattern. I had said in one of my videos that I would be selling EJ, I mean, from this bar. And the reason I had this bar in place You see, this is the head we pointed out on the weekly time frame. We've broken back down here, and then we just started. The moment we broke back down below this price level, we have not broken above it except for this head. And now this on its own is forming another head and shoulder pattern on, I feel like I've said this before, on here, but it's fine, I'll go over it again. This on its own is forming another head and shoulder pattern within the overall head and shoulder pattern on a weekly time frame. Right? Now, this is what we will be trading. This head and shoulder pattern is what we'll be trading because it's closer to what is happening in real time. But we will keep account of the pattern we have spotted on a weekly level, right? Now, here is where I came to play, quote unquote, right? And I remember this one quite well because I tried scaling up on this one, but then I failed. So what just happened was we had this guy drop here, and of course you know how I roll. I wait for retracements, right? So we retraced to back to the black bar, and then once we started having this, I just had my pending because I had a counter trend line on a lower time frame. So once we just had that, I just got in here. Once we just had that, I just got in, and we just started tanking to the downside. Now we had gotten here, and of course I had closed out something. I had BE'd, and then I was anticipating a retracement to scale up, and that retracement came. We scaled up, and the moment we got here, well, I didn't BE. First mistake, I did not BE, and I just took out a bit, and you see we had serious spike to the upside, and I got stopped out. Not a lot because I had been shaving off the equity. When we get to a certain point, I would close out something and then move my stop loss. So by the time this happened, I was up, but for that particular position I had gotten stopped out, and that was last week. So I just it is what it is at the end of the day, and yeah, moving on, right? So I think I've covered backlog in terms of trades I've placed, right? So let's just talk about what we can see now, right? What opportunities we can take advantage of now. As I had mentioned, on a daily time frame, we are having this head and shoulder pattern on as our right shoulder for the overall move. Now, of course, for us to break out of this pattern, we would need to come to the neckline. Now, I know some people don't trade right shoulder to neckline, but I do, right? And it's all about being smart with your positioning. At least for me, that's how I see it, right? So it's pretty straightforward from here. We would still be bearish. We would still very much be bearish. However, positioning is everything when you're having at least one foot in the game. And you can also see a fib play around here. I mean, we didn't exactly have this here, but this plays this area plays a vital role generally, when it comes to this retracement. And now it's showing, because now this is a double top at this black bar, and this is lower than what we have here. So my guess is this shoulder is holding. That's my educated guess. This shoulder is holding. And if this shoulder is holding, that means, well, selling opportunities, basically. And let's remove this. And you can see clearly now on the 4-hour time frame, this is here, and then we have a lower high here, here, and here, right? So the place we need to beat now, or the level we need to break now, is this black bar. And obviously the reason is visible. This black bar, if I have a line here, this black bar is respected. If you look left, you would see that this is a line that, or this is a level that is constantly respected by the market. So I'm not going to, want to put, I mean, I could, but I wouldn't that would not be my ideal position to wait for a retracement, because this is still very much a range. It's not like GJ. I feel this is still pretty much a range, and I'm not exactly comfortable with trading a retracement here to the upside. A retracement, then continue for downward movement. That's something that might happen. We might hold temporarily here, then retrace before coming down here, and I'll still watch it. Whatever happens, but my ideal position would be a break of this guy to come down here and retrace or move sideways, however we choose to exhaust, before then continuing. That would now give me a nice position one, and it will give me a lot more confidence in getting into the trade, right? So, but for now, it's just based on this guy. If we bounce off here, I'll still chill, observe what we do once we bounce off here. I may or may not take a low risk trade once we bounce off here to, get a good position. I think to be on the safe side, that's the best high to use. And yeah, I may, because once we get here and we start tanking, here automatically becomes your 100% retracement point. All right, so you get something here and then you wait for the actual setup. However we choose to react is up to the market. I could be wrong, we could move sideways even, but if we are bouncing off, I might, and I am really skeptical about that, having a low risk trade above here. But once we break here and we retrace, you definitely see maybe screenshots. Maybe I'll start attaching screenshots to these things to make it easier to keep track. But yeah, it's all depending on this line, this bar, this key level, 160.9. Once we break here, however direction we move is up to the market, but I'll still be here trying to make money, and that's the most important, right? So that's pretty much it for me. GJ and EJ pretty much in the same category when it comes to action items. If we break down below here for a clear break, all fine and good. If we retrace for a higher, for a lower high, then I would most likely be taking advantage of it, but with low risk, especially for GJ, because GJ looks like this is. But let's see. I'm not the one to say what the market will or will not do. I would just position myself to take advantage of whatever it does. Right. So that's those are the two pairs that I'm covering uh, for at least 2 weeks. Maybe one, yeah, at least 2 weeks. I'm not planning on having anything to do with EU, GU, USDCHF, at least for now, because I went through them and they are still not giving me a nice market or a nice tradable environment. So hands off for now. And of course, if I see anything, I would record and have it on here. It's just, in the course of the day, you don't get much time to record things like this. I mean, this is 40 something minutes. So you just place it and say, oh, I'll journal it later. But then it now becomes hard to track. See, I'm going to WhatsApp messages and all. But yeah, it will do better, and then let's see how we can take advantage of the yen basket. Now it's trending. All right, so take it easy and bye for now.